Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. Regular viewers will know I review many photographic, audio and video related products. Well, today we're taking a look at the DJI, I can never say that phrase, DJI OSMO Pocket, and here it is in its case. It is a 4K little camcorder on a gimbal, and it's outstanding, to be honest. I absolutely love it. It's frigging outstanding. And it comes with its case. It's actually not a bad case. Designed reasonably well. That comes out. I'll talk a bit more about the case a little bit later. But basically, this is the OSMO Pocket. And you can see, hopefully you can see how tiny, I mean, you can tell how tiny it is by, you know, holding it in the hand, and that gives you an indication of the size of it. Now, it is outstanding, as I said to you earlier. Now, there's a lot of reviews on the OSMO Pocket. It's generating a lot of interest on the internet, and I can clearly see why, because of its form factor. Now, when you turn it on, just hold in, the little gimbal does a little dance, and then it's powered up. It's got a built-in 1-inch screen, so when you're filming you can kind of get a visualization of what you're filming, so it's actually pretty good, to be fair. I'm quite happy with that. So you can clearly see it is actually picking up my face, and although it isn't a mighty wide camera, the actual field of view on the lens isn't mighty wide, but it's wide enough. I mean, okay, at arm's length would be probably more comfortable, but even at that length, which is what I've been using it, I find that quite fine. It's only a 1-inch screen, but the fact that they've included a screen on it, I think is staggering, you know, anyway. And it's not good for checking focus, obviously the screen is too small, but it's great for composition and framing. So you can clearly see if you've got the image framed properly, particularly when you're in selfie mode. And I'm just using the 1-inch monitor and the sound on the actual Osmo just to see how it looks. It's bloody cold, so yeah, let's go inside, go into the outlet village and see what we can get from there. Now, to get into selfie mode, all you do is 3 clicks on the start button and it goes into selfie mode, and it has got face detect. It will lock on your face, and you can see it's actually pretty good. Now, I know there's been several criticisms online saying it doesn't go wide enough for using it as a selfie camera, and I guess to some extent they're probably right. We're just wandering around the outlet village. I'm with my brother, and what I'm going to do is hand this over to my brother, see how he gets on with this camera. He'll probably, yeah, he'll probably get on quite fine with it. So you can see there, that's how the gimbal works. Basically, it keeps the shot nice and steady. I did have another issue with it. None of these are criticisms, by the way, but I had an issue with it which I've had with every gimbal. Now, it must be the way I walk, but on certain shots the footage is, you know, quite bouncy, and I have looked online at other people's reviews, and some of their footage is quite bouncy as well. So whether that's the way I'm using it or whatever, I don't know. Now, this particular little camera shoots in 4K. It does 4K, 25, 30 and 60 frames a second, and it does HD in 120 frames a second in slow motion, which I think is a really handy dandy. There is a professional mode, but you need to connect, which I'll come on to, you need to connect a mobile phone for it to work in professional mode. But I've generally been using it as it is, like that, purely because its form factor. It's nice and compact. On the front here, you've got your 1-inch screen. You've got this here, which is your accessory port. Now, it comes with 2 adapters, which pee me off actually, but 2 little adapters. I don't know where we are. There we are. 2 little adapters, a USB-C, whoops, a USB-C little adapter, and an iPhone lightning port adapter, so you can see there. So that basically just slots into here. Now the Osmo is going to be, DJI are going to be supplying various other adapters for here. There's a wheel adapter for adjusting the tilt and various other functions. I'm not going to bother with that, it's more bulk, I don't need it. But that basically slots into the side here, like so, and then you can connect your mobile phones, which I'll do in just a second. So obviously this part here is the camera, the gimbal. It's a 1 2/3 inch, 1 over 2/3 inch sensor camera, which does have some depth of field. It's not infinity focus, so you can get, you know, if a person's up close, you can get the background out of focus, slightly out of focus. People have said there's issues with the focusing with this camera. I've come across a few, but nothing that would deter me from using it. I think it's brilliant, you know. You got your record button here, you got your function button there. Double click and it resets the gimbal. Not that it needed to there because it was quite right. And then you got 3 clicks that turns it into selfie mode. So on the bottom, you've got your USB-C charging port on the bottom there. It's a great pity they didn't put the charging port on the side and a tripod mount, because there is no tripod mount on here. I've had to go a convoluted way of getting this cheap eBay, I think I got it off eBay adapter thing, and then that goes into that. Your mobile phone goes into here. I haven't mounted that right, as you can clearly see, because it's in the wrong place, but that will go into there, and that'll mount into there, and then you've got yourself a form, which is there, a method of actually mounting it to a tripod, or some form of, you know, grip to hold it. But again, it's got its own built-in grip, so you don't really need that. Micro SD card slot, nothing around the other side. 2 microphones, there's one at the bottom and one little one, no way you'll be able to see that, but there's one little one at the bottom there, and there's one little one at the front here, designed for when you're using it in selfie mode. And I think the sound that comes out of here is very, very good. I'm quite critical about sound, reasonably critical about sound. Hence the reason today, as always, I'm using a tie clip lavalier mic, so much better quality than using a gun mic. And I found, again, if you're using this for vlogging, the sound that comes off here, and again I'll show you some samples, the sound that comes off this camera is phenomenal. We're in Soho just having a cup of tea, and I'm just testing out this Osmo with the iPhone as a monitor, and yeah, it's nice, it's lovely and steady. We're just having a wander through the outlet village again, and yeah, this is a really good little gimbal, and my brother doesn't even think it looks like a camera when you're pointing it. It's very discreet. Now heading back into town. We'll get the bus. There's a bus too. Oh no, going the other way. So yeah, basically that's all there is to it. 1-inch screen, couple of controls on the front, a USB-C port for charging, and that is it. You know. Now getting back to this adapter thing here, you slide in what adapter you need for whatever phone you're using. That clicks into there, and then the phone. I happen to be using my iPhone SE. That clips into there, and normally it would power up the app, but it can't. Let me just put my pin in. Now it's powering up the app automatically, and I don't know if you can see that, but it's now showing what the camera's being pointed at, and you can switch cameras by using the iPhone. Oops. So you see that there, that's now in selfie mode. that way round. That's now in selfie mode, and it's got face detect, so it's clearly picking up my face. And using the iPhone or an Android phone does have, you know, a lot of advantages because you've got a bigger screen. And obviously this is a small iPhone. This is one of the smallest screens that they do. You get a bigger one, you get an even bigger monitor, but you don't need a bigger monitor. I mean, that size monitor is completely fine. And also using the phone, you can go into the various modes. You can go into Pro mode. Let's go out of that. Go back. Oops. You can go into all the various modes. You can adjust various settings, resolution settings, and Pro mode. So you can go into manual mode for adjusting shutter speeds, apertures, and all the rest of it. Now, I haven't done any of that because at the moment I haven't got any ND filters, and this particular gadget, camera, whatever, has got a fixed aperture of f2, which is completely fine. Don't have an issue with that. Oh, hello, what's it done now? It's gone into photo mode, so let's go out of that. Go back to video. Yeah, so it's got a fixed aperture of f2. So if I use it manually, I'm going to get mega overexposed shots when I go outdoors. So I'm waiting for some ND filters to arrive so I can actually test it out in manual mode. But everything that you see that I've shot, whether it be indoors or outdoors, has been shot on fully auto. I've just left it on auto. I've left the camera to decide what shutter speed and what ISO to set. And to be fair, for what it is, I've not come across any issues. I think I would carry on using it in auto mode. I mean, why fiddle around with manual? I think the concept of this camera isn't for doing fancy filming. I've got to be careful how I say this. I don't want to upset anyone, but I think it's a grab and go camera, to be honest. I think that's what I would think that's what DJI have designed it as, a grab and go camera. So even for professionals, you want to grab some quick, you know, B-roll or C-roll shots. You might want to grab some quick gimbal shots. You might want to grab a quick selfie. You might need to do some behind the scenes shots. I can think of many pro uses this camera can be put to. And considering its frigging size, I mean, it's tiny. You just shove it in the camera bag, and I'm convinced that footage that comes off this will blend nicely with, you know, footage from your Canon C300s and your Sony FS7s, FS5s, you know, the Fuji X-T3, which I'm actually using today as a close-up camera. Actually, on a separate note, the Fuji X-T3 has won many awards, and I'm really excited about that because I love the camera and I love all the Fuji cameras. But I've got today fitted to it my 50 to 140 f2.8 Pro lens with a variable ND filter on the front, so I can whack the aperture right down to f2.8 to get that creamy out of focus background, and I think it's working fine. But anyway, so getting back to this, so you know, what do I think of it? Connected with a mobile phone is essential for it, really, because you need to be able to adjust a lot of the settings, and they can only be adjusted with using a phone. The actual usability of a device, it has got, as I said, because it's got this screen, you can go into settings, and there's various things you can set. There's quite a few things you can set, but not everything. But when you're out and about, there's enough on this screen to be able to set what you want. One thing I did discover, I got a 32 gig card in here, and I didn't, on the second day I went out, I didn't clear the first day's lot of filming, and it wasn't a great deal, but the card filled up very quickly. So I would suggest either get a bigger card or continually remember to download your footage and format the cards. Because one thing I have discovered, you can't format the card from here. It's greyed out. And I've tried everything, unless I'm doing something wrong, I don't know. But this device here doesn't allow you to format the card. So you have to do it via your mobile phone. So just be aware of that. If you do go out with this, and you haven't formatted your card, you may run out of space on the card. So yeah, point to be aware of. But the usability of this screen is fine. It's absolutely great. As I say, you've got quite a few functions that you can set on here to do with the gimbal settings, and you know, many other things. Yeah, great little device. I think that it has got a place in the market. I think it has got a place in the pros camera bag. I will certainly be using it a lot. Again, a lot of the, you know, for grab shots, and you know, you just got to grab it. The thing is, right, for getting again B1.
Sorry, I don't understand.
She don't understand. That's my Google Assistant. She don't understand. It's great for getting grab shots, and that's one of the things that I love about it. Normally when I'm doing C-roll and B-roll, cutaways of the cameras and this, that and the other, I have to get my camera out, set the tripod up, and this, that and the other. But this has got its own built-in tripod, hasn't it? You know, it's stabilised anyway. So I've only got to grab this out, get me quick shots, boom, boom, boom. Yeah, need that shot of that microphone, I need that shot of the Atmos, and you're done. And you know, that's pretty impressive, really, isn't it? You know, you imagine going out filming an event. You're walking around an exhibition hall, and you just want to get some shots, maybe some interviews with a few people. You know, it's great for all of that. The built-in mics are okay. You know, now it hasn't got any mic jacks. Okay, so it would have been nice if DJI had put a mic jack in the unit, but it's tiny. You know, and I respect the fact that they probably weren't able to, purely because of the size of it. There are rumours that this accessory port here is going to have, they are going to make some form of you know, mic jack adapter that will go on this accessory port, or possibly through the USB-C adapter or port on the bottom here. So I think the potential for add-ons for this little unit are tremendous. Again, there are some criticisms. People were saying, some reviewers are saying that it's quite expensive. Well, in this country, in the UK, it's 330 quid. For a pro level 4K camcorder that's got a built-in gimbal for you know, a stabilised camcorder for 330 quid. I've been in this business since 1985, and to get that sort of, well, it wasn't even 4K, obviously, it was standard definition, PAL definition back then, and you'd been spending thousands of pounds, you know, not a few hundred quid. A few hundred quid is neither here nor there if you're doing it for a living and making money out of doing this sort of thing. You know, it's pocket money, isn't it? Come on, we've got to be realistic. If you're a hobbyist, yeah, I accept the fact you know, it isn't pocket money, but the people I think that are likely to buy this are serious enthusiasts and pros and semi-pros, and I think even though it has got its faults, I think it's a fantastic investment, and I'm really enjoying it, because I'm enjoying the quality of the footage that comes out of it. So yeah, there we go, nice compact 4K camcorder, great results, and as I say, it comes with the bag. The only annoying thing with this little case, I say annoying thing, it's not it's not a big deal. It's nicely designed in the sense of it goes in there nicely, but when you're charging it, it's got a hold of a bottom here to plug in the charger, but the LED's hidden. When the flap's closed, the LED that tells you whether it's charged or charging, you can't see. You have to leave a flap open. Not a big deal, but a few people have pointed that out, so I thought I would point that out as well. But I'd say it's a good solid case. Yeah, that'll protect it in your pocket very, very well. So there we go. That's a brief overview. Well, it's not that brief actually, but that's an overview of the DJI Pocket Osmo. And what do you think, Google?
Here's a summary from the website trustedreviews.com. DJI OSMO Pocket design. In the hand,
Clever,
the Osmo Pocket feels very well built and comes with a carry case for added protection. On the top is its crowning glory, that 3-axis gimbal, which holds a tiny camera that can shoot 4K video at 60 FPS and 12 megapixel stills.
See, Google knows. Thanks very much for watching my channel. I do hope you found these reviews of interest, and you find my channel of interest. If you do, please hit the like button if you found this video useful, and subscribe if you haven't already done so. It makes it well worthwhile doing these reviews, and everything you see on my channel I've paid for. I buy all the kit myself. I don't borrow it. I don't get kits sent to me by manufacturers, and there we go. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers for now.